In the last video, I revealed how your habits are secretly controlling your life. Today, I'm going to show you something even more powerful, how to turn this force to your advantage. What I'm about to share isn't just another set of tips and tricks. This is the operating manual for human behavior that nobody ever gave you. But first, let me tell you about a fascinating experiment that changes everything we thought we knew about habit formation. Researchers at Stanford University discovered something shocking. When people tried to change their habits through sheer willpower, they failed 92% of the time. But when they used the protocol I'm about to share with you, their success rate skyrocketed to 71%. The difference wasn't in motivation or discipline, it was in understanding the hidden architecture of behavior change. Here's the truth that most habit experts won't tell you. Your brain is not designed for habit change, it's designed for habit preservation. This made perfect sense when we were living in caves and needed to conserve energy. But in today's world, this ancient programming is working against you. The good news? Once you understand how to work with this programming instead of fighting it, everything changes. Let me show you what I mean. Right now, your habits are running on what I call the automatic response loop. Think of it like a computer program running in the background of your mind. You don't see it, you don't think about it, but it's controlling everything you do. The key to changing this program isn't in trying harder, it's in understanding how to rewrite the code. The first step in this process is something I call pattern interruption, and it's probably the opposite of what you've been told about habit change. Instead of focusing on the new habit you want to create, you need to first become a detective of your existing patterns. Here's why this is crucial. Your current habits aren't random, they're sophisticated solutions to problems your brain has identified, even if those solutions are now causing more problems than they solve. Let me give you a concrete example that will blow your mind. Take someone whose stress eats. Most advice would focus on willpower or finding healthy snacks, but that completely misses the point. The habit isn't really about food, it's about stress regulation. The food is just the solution their brain has found for managing anxiety. Unless you address the root pattern, no amount of willpower will create lasting change. This brings us to the second key principle, environmental override. Here's something fascinating. Research has shown that your environment has up to 4 times more impact on your behavior than your conscious decisions. Think about that for a second. Your surroundings are literally programming your actions, and most people never even realize it. But here's where it gets really interesting. You can use this same principle to essentially hack your own behavior. Instead of relying on motivation, you can design your environment to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. This isn't about willpower, it's about leveraging the same forces that have been working against you. Let me share a mind-bending example. In a study of hospital hand hygiene, researchers found that simply changing the location of hand sanitizer dispensers increased usage by 300%. The doctors and nurses didn't receive any additional training or motivation. Just a simple environmental change completely transformed their behavior. This same principle can be applied to any habit you want to change. But now we come to the most powerful part of this protocol, what I call identity integration. This is where most habit change attempts go wrong, and understanding this could be the difference between permanent change and endless frustration. Here's the key insight. Your habits are not just things you do, they're statements about who you are. Think about this. When someone offers a cigarette to a smoker trying to quit versus a non-smoker, their responses come from completely different places. The person trying to quit says, "I'm trying not to smoke," and while the non-smoker says, "I'm not a smoker." Same action, but totally different identity frameworks, and this difference is everything. This brings us to the practical protocol for rewiring any habit. I'm going to break this down into 5 specific steps that you can start using today. But before I do, I need to warn you, this process might seem deceptively simple. That's by design. The power isn't in its complexity, it's in understanding exactly how to apply it. Step 1 is pattern mapping. For the next 3 days, you're going to become a scientist studying your own behavior. Don't try to change anything yet, just observe and record. What triggers your habits? What rewards are you really seeking? The insights you gain here will be worth their weight in gold. Step 2 is environment engineering. This is where you'll redesign your surroundings to make good habits require less effort than bad ones. Remember, willpower is a limited resource, but environmental design has unlimited power. Step 3 is identity anchoring. This is where you'll learn to build new neural pathways by linking desired habits to your core identity. It's not about forcing change. It's about making new behaviors feel like authentic expressions of who you are. Step 4 is progressive loading. This is where most people go wrong by trying to change too much too fast. I'll show you the exact formula for increasing habit difficulty without triggering your brain's resistance mechanisms. And finally, step 5 is failure proofing. This is my proprietary system for ensuring that temporary setbacks don't become permanent defeats. This step alone has doubled the success rate of everyone I've worked with. In the next video, I'm going to show you exactly how to implement each of these steps with real-world examples examples and case studies. You'll see how people just like you have used this protocol to completely transform their lives, not through motivation or willpower, but through understanding and applying these fundamental principles of human behavior. Stay tuned, because what I'm about to share will give you the tools to not just change your habits, but to literally reprogram your entire life. This isn't just about breaking bad habits or building good ones. It's about becoming the architect of your own destiny. Remember, your habits might be controlling you now, but after our next session, you'll know exactly how to take back control. See you in part 3, where everything comes together.